Welcome to Headstones and Microphones, where we use AI to step into the past through a researched, first-person simulation of history's most interesting people. I am your host, Calvin. While we've added some creative storytelling, our goal is to inspire your own study of these fascinating lives. Now, let's meet our guest. Coach, it is an absolute honour to have you here. I've got to start with the basics for those who may somehow not know who you are. Who are you?
I'm Glenn Edward Schembechler, but most folks just call me Bo. I spent about 21 years pacing the sidelines at the University of Michigan, and I'd like to think I taught a few young men about more than just a Power O play. To me, it was always about the team, the team, the team.
That legendary "the team" speech still gives people chills. Let's go back to the beginning. When and where were you born?
I was a Buckeye State product, born on April 1st, 1929. Yes, April Fool's Day, in Barberton, Ohio. It was a tough, industrial little suburb of Akron.
You mentioned your name is Glenn, but everyone knows you as Bo. Is there a story behind that?
It's all thanks to my sister, Marge. When we were little, she couldn't quite wrap her tongue around the word brother. It came out as Bobo. Eventually, we dropped the second half, and Bo just stuck for the rest of my life.
Growing up in Barberton, what was your hometown and family life like?
Barberton was a magic city, a place where people worked hard and took pride in their community. My father was a firefighter, and he was the man who taught me everything about integrity. I remember once he refused to take a stolen copy of a civil service exam, even though he knew the other guy had it. He took the test fair and square, missed one more question than the other fellow, and didn't get the promotion. He didn't care. He did it the right way. That stayed with me. My mom was wonderful too. She used to take me to Cleveland Indians games on Ladies' Day.
What kind of kid were you back then? Were you already the fiery Bo we saw on the sidelines?
I was a kid who just couldn't get enough of sports. My grade school didn't even have a football team, but I was so determined that I'd go and practice with the high schoolers when I was only in the 7th and 8th grade. I wasn't the fastest or the biggest, but I was going to be out there.
Did you have any big fears or dreams as a child?
My dream was always football. I didn't want to be anything else but a coach. As for fears, well, I suppose I feared not giving my absolute best. In Barberton, you didn't just show up, you worked.
What were some of your favorite school activities and what was your first job?
If it involved a ball or a whistle, I was there. In high school, I played tackle and even guard, whatever the team needed. My first real job after college was as a graduate assistant for Woody Hayes at Ohio State. I earned my master's degree there in 1952. That was the start of a very long, very loud friendship.
Was there a moment where you realized you were different, or a small decision that changed everything?
The decision to go into coaching right after graduating from Miami of Ohio felt natural, but looking back, it changed my whole trajectory. I chose passion over a steady paycheck. But the real turning point was probably taking the Michigan job in 1969. A lot of people thought I was crazy to leave Ohio, but I knew that program had something special waiting to be tapped.
What would you say was your biggest break?
Oh, without a doubt, the 1969 upset against Ohio State. They were the #1 team in the country, coached by my mentor, Woody. Nobody gave us a chance. We beat them 24-12, and that victory put Michigan back on the map. It launched the 10-year war between Woody and me.
Did you have any specific daily habits or routines that were essential to your success?
Discipline, Calvin. I believed that every day you either get better or you get worse. You never stay the same. My routine was preparation. I'd be in the office early, watching film, meeting with my staff, and making sure every single detail was covered. If you don't prepare to lead, you're preparing to fail.
If fame and football never happened, what job do you think you would have had?
I probably would have been a teacher or followed in my father's footsteps in public service. Anything where I could lead a group of people toward a common goal. I loved being a leader. But you can't be a leader unless you truly like people.
When and where and how did you pass away and how old were you?
I was in Michigan filming an episode of Big Ten Ticket, and I passed away from a heart attack. It was November 17th, 2006, and I was 77 years old.
You were famous for your intense rivalries, especially with Woody Hayes. Any stories people don't usually talk about?
Woody fired me more times than I can count when I was his assistant. He'd blow his top, scream that I was done, and then 10 minutes later, he'd send a graduate assistant to fetch me because he had a question about a play. We were like family. We fought hard because we cared about the game that much.
Let's talk about some personal favorites. What was your favorite food or restaurant?
I wasn't a fancy guy. Give me a good steak or a hearty meal in Ann Arbor. I loved the local spots where the fans and students hung out.
What about a random fact or a unique habit of yours?
Most people don't know that even though I was a quote-unquote football guy through and through, I actually served as the president of the Detroit Tigers baseball team for a couple of years in the early 90s. I loved the strategy of baseball too.
What advice would you give to people chasing success today?
You better start with your heart. If you don't love what you're doing, you'll never be great at it. And remember, no man is more important than the team. If you can put the goals of the group above your own ego, you'll find success you never thought possible.
Coach, do you have any closing remarks for our listeners before we sign off?
Just this. Go Blue! It was a joy to share these stories. Life is about the impact you leave on others and the teams you build along the way. Thank you for having me, Calvin. It's been a real pleasure to blow the whistle one more time.
That was the legendary Schembechler, reminding us all what it means to be part of the team. It's been incredible hearing about the grit of Barberton and those iconic days in Ann Arbor. And that wraps up another conversation from Beyond the Grave. Thanks for joining us on the Headstones and Microphones podcast. Remember, legends may die, but their stories never do. Please help spread the word by sharing and following the pod.